Okay, good evening.
Hi, good evening, lady. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
Fine, I'm doing good.
Okay,
There's just 1 hour difference between Bogota and where I live in Cincinnati, Ohio.
okay. Could you tell me what is your full name, please?
It's Ellen Lowe Gill.
Okay. My name is Lady Camargo. I am a
Okay.
student at the Distrital University in Bogota. I am
Oh,
student to becoming a English teacher here.
okay.
I think that is a very interesting area for work.
Okay. Yes.
Uh, could you tell me some information about you?
Okay. My husband and I were missionaries in South America, in Colombia, Peru, Costa Rica, and we also were missionaries in Florida in the United States for 18 years. But now we came back to the United States, to where we are from. We're both from southern Ohio, um, near the largest city near close to us is Cincinnati, Ohio. And what else can I tell you? We just both got jobs. Uh, my husband is an English as a second language tutor. He helps a teacher, and she teaches English as a second language, but she does not speak Spanish. And he has many Spanish-speaking students in the classroom that do not speak English. So he communicates with them. He also works in a science class and a social studies class and helps the Spanish-speaking students in those classes understand what the teacher is saying in English. And I work in an office in the enrollment office, and if parents come to enroll their children in school, if they've moved or they want to be in our school, and I especially help the Spanish-speaking parents who don't speak any English to enroll their children in school.
Okay, Helen. When you come to Colombia, do you have the opportunity to have some perceptions about the education here?
Yes. Um, I think one of the first things that I learned about the education in Colombia was most about the Colombian people, how interested they were in learning, and how important it was for everyone to learn as much as they could, to get as much education as they could, to advance as high as they could. I think in many ways, and even more than my country, the Colombians are very interested in learning. So that was one of the first impressions or the first things I learned. I also learned that sadly, even though it says I guess in the Constitution or whatever, it says the education is free, it's really not free because you have to wear uniforms, and there's I think it's called in Spanish matricula. So there's still a fee, and for the very, very poor people, it's very difficult to pay that fee
Okay.
sometimes. I have a American, well, actually, she's from Canada, a Canadian friend who works in Bogota with children who they do not have the money to enroll in school, or sometimes their school is too full. And so and sometimes the children are in school, but they're not doing well. So she has classes that she helps, separate classes, and helps them.
Okay. Do you have some questions about the education here in Colombia?
Um, Yes, like the class that or course that you are taking, how long is it? Is it 1 year or 2 years or how long?
For
How long
example,
does it last?
in this moment, I am taking a professional career. This is approximately 10 semesters.
10
10
semesters?
semesters, yes.
Okay.
You have the opportunity to becoming a professional.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. And when you get your diploma or your title, what will it be called? What's it
Yes,
called?
I call it like you can to be a professional teacher.
Okay.
I can teach for the high school, and I have the focus in English.
Oh, okay. So you're not interested in teaching little children. You're interested in teaching high school.
Yes, I think that I can do it, but in this moment, the career of make the focus to you to become in a English teacher. I can to teach science, I can to teach math, Spanish, or chemistry. I depends that the subject that I choose. But the main aspect that I have to highlight is the use of the English.
Oh, okay. Okay. What year are you in, or which semester are you in right now?
Currently, I am in 10th semester.
10
But
semester.
yes, but I have to prolong this because I have to finish with my process of the thesis. That is the big
Okay.
inform that I need to present about the some pedagogical experience. I have to apply the research and a pedagogical purpose and write something about these topics and this experience for share in the university. The modality that I chose was to publish an article in a magazine, in a specific magazine. I choose this and this take more time.
Oh, yeah, I understand. I understand. You look too young to have almost finished already.
Thank you. Yes, but uh, currently I think that there are a lot of professionals here in Colombia that finish the professional careers before that the 30 years because there are
Right.
a lot of expectations to go to work in a professional way, to have an economic expectative that help to improve the life status.
Right. Right.
Because
See,
here
I
in
try.
Colombia it's very important the people make the education that the way to improve the life.
Yes. Yes. Colombians are very ambitious and smart.
Yes.
I tell everybody when they ask me about my experiences in Colombia, I always tell them that. You give a Colombian an opportunity and they will run with it because they are smart and ambitious. And I mean that in a good way, ambitious. And, I think in Spanish it's pila.
Yes, yes. In Colombia there are smart people, but I think that the educational system have to change because there are a lot of people that need to the opportunity to improve to get a better education. But maybe
Yes.
currently the education is failed. There are a lot of people that is very intelligent, but the educational system go against the improved process. For example,
Uh,
I am a practical teacher, and I have to face to the class with 47 students, and it's so hard.
47?
Yes,
Oh, that's crazy. That's
yes,
too many.
yes. I think that is not a good condition for teach.
No, I think the largest classrooms we have are about 30, and that's too many.
Yes, yes, that
Even 30 is too many, but 47 is horrible. Ah, that's so hard.
yes. Additionally, that you have a lot of students that you have to take into account the individual aspects to teach.
Sure.
Yes, because you have to pay attention for the individual students. But these individual students have to achieve the specific standards. For example, here in Bogota there are a lot of standards for the education, and
Okay.
sometimes the education is focused on the get the standard, but not in the real educational process.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's difficult.
Yes.
That's so hard. Would you
Yes.
like to teach in a public school or a private school?
Currently, I am teaching in a public school
Public, okay.
at the Policarpa Salabarrieta School.
Would
It
you
is
like
a
to teach in a
yes.
private?
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it. I think that is a big challenge, but I love it to teach. I think that there are hope in the students. In the
Oh,
students,
yes,
you
yeah.
can find the future doctor, the future engineers, the future
Yeah.
presidents. I don't know. Maybe you can find the motivation. You can engage this in the students.
That's true. That's very true. As I told my husband with his students, I said, if you, because some of them, they're being, he has the older children, the little children who come here, they learn very quickly. And they don't have much English because they're so young. But the older ones, they're expected to learn English and improve quickly. And some of them, their standard in Spanish is not high. They may be 16, 17 years old, but they're reading or writing Spanish in a second or third grade level. And my husband said, what do you do with them? It's very difficult to help them. But I try to encourage him and tell them anything that they learn, even if they can't go on and study, if they work someplace, anything that they learn in English will help them. Even if it's running a cash register or it's working in a store or, you have to have at least some basics. So, it's a challenge.
Yes, but I don't know. But I think that the government also could be to help to this. Uh, Actually, for the high schools and the primary schools, the students can have the free access. They don't have to pay any money. It's
Okay,
free.
really?
But they have the access, but really don't have the real interest. They don't feel comfortable into the school.
Right.
For the reason,
Oh.
I think that a lot of students don't want to study.
Right. Yeah, that's true. One difference between school in Colombia and here is our students do not get out of high school until they're usually 17 or 18 years old. But I think in Colombia, don't they graduate when they're about 16?
Yes, it depends. Depends. Nor or the age. It depends that you complete all the cycle. That
Oh.
you get to the 11th grade. That is the last grade in the high school.
Oh, okay. But if they go straight through and they study and they don't fail anything, then when they graduate, they're 16.
Yes, for example, there are students that finish the high school when they have to 14 years old, but really they finish the school, but they don't know what they want to do for the future.
Right. I had a Colombian friend once ask me, she was afraid because her son had graduated. He was 16, but he couldn't go and study yet. He was too young, and he was too young to work. So it's like she didn't know what to do, what he could do, and sometimes, especially boys, will get in trouble if there's just nothing for them to do.
Yes, of course. But for example, here, when you finish the school, you have to start to look for the university. But the university is really expensive. In Colombia, study in a professional university is very expensive, and a lot of students decided don't not continue to the study and prefer go to work, get an informal job.
Right.
Because it's so hard to find a university that allow the student to continue in the studies and simultaneously work.
Oh, right. Yeah. Or did you have to work while you were studying?
Yes, I have to work, and the most of the time that I stayed in the university, I have to work. First, in the first stages, I worked in an informal, like a waitress, like a call attendant, secretary. But currently, in the last semester, I start to work like a teacher.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But is the representative aspect? I have to work for continue studying.
Right. I understand. It's hard. Yeah, I worked when I was in college too. Like I worked in a store, and I did things like that as I could. Sometimes I worked at the university. They had jobs that you could get at the university, and I worked there. But part of that here in the States, unless you live in a really, really big city like New York City or Boston or Chicago or, most of the other cities, you have to have a car. Things are too far away, and taxis and everything are extremely expensive. So, and there's not very good bus service. There's some buses, but not a lot. And so you have to have a car. So you have to, pay some. My parents helped with my school. I had to pay for a car to get to college and back home. So a lot of my money went to my car for gas and tires and everything that you need for a car. So
yes, for example, here in Bogota, in this aspect is different because we have a lot of things closer. You can you can use the bike. You can go to the work, use by bike. You can go to the university by the bike. You have to use different alternative transport.
right. They're trying in some of our cities to have public transportation that's better, but it's not as advanced as other countries. I think for so long, everything was so spread out in the United States, was very far one thing from the other, that people then got used to having cars, and because that's just how everyone had to do. I mean, in a town, people will ride bikes or walk, but outside the town, you have to have a car, and that's very hard for poor people, because even a old car is expensive, to keep up.
Okay.
So
Here in Bogota happens something funny. Do you have a lot of alternative transport, but the people use the public transport in a mass way? There are people that use the Transmilenio, that use a lot of always use the Transmilenio, and the Transmilenio always is crowded. It's awful to transportate. I don't know if you can use the Transmilenio when you come to
Yeah, I
Colombia.
did. I would go. We lived in I don't know, Los Cerritos. And I would go to San Francisco.
Yes.
I would use the Transmilenio. And most of the time it was very good, but sometimes it was so horribly crowded.
Yes.
Horrible.
And the
And
traffic
honestly,
jam is awful. The
Yeah,
traffic
yeah.
and the old moment the city is very crowded of the people, of the cars, of the transport, and you can have a fluid moment. No, all
no.
moment is a traffic, awful traffic.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know that you have the experience working with the San Francisco people. What do you think about this place?
San Francisco, I really liked because it was very from a lot of what I saw were hardworking people that maybe didn't have a lot of money, but they were very hardworking. And one thing that I even saw, people, as you go up the mountain and the people get poor, people that had dirt floors, very simple houses, but yet they would plant flowers in front, and they would paint their houses, and they paint their doors. They took pride in whatever they had, and that was very encouraging for me. Some of the things we saw, because we worked with very poor people, were very sad. I mean, we're very sad. We worked some with desplazados, with refugees, and from other places in Colombia that would come into Bogota during the Civil War. And I mean, it was difficult for me to sleep at night after some of the things that I had seen in homes and some of the underweight children. And but it was rewarding to know that I ran a nutrition program, and your mother-in-law, Jolanda, helped with that. She was a health promoter.
Yes.
And she helped very much with that, and I had some other Colombians help me. And it was very rewarding because we could, they would come once a week, and for a minimal, I think it was mil pesos, 1,000, or no, is it called pesos? Yeah, pesos.
Yes.
And I mean nothing, like it didn't cost anything. But we wanted the people to not be embarrassed, It was more like they would feel good, like they were paying a little something for it. But they get a big bag of food if their child was, underweight and not thriving, not doing well. And it was exciting to see them improve.
Yes.
And we also tried to encourage them in their spiritual life, and nobody was ever forced to participate in that, but they wanted to. Sometimes we had Bible studies, and we always have like prayer, ask them what their prayer requests were, and prayed for them, and it was, I loved it. It's some of the most rewarding work I've ever done. I loved it.
Okay, for example, I lived all my childhood in this neighborhood.
Really? Okay.
For me, it's a good neighborhood because I have the opportunity to share the life in a different way. Because I learned to becoming a hard worker, to grown up saw different things like the vandalism and the drug addiction. But I think that this is the context. But the people have to choose what they want to do. There are
Right.
a lot of people that decided to become in a good person or a good people because they have two specific dreams. They develop a goal. For example, I know a lot of people that currently is a professional. Then they decided to go to life in another neighborhoods in Bogota because they want to live in a safe way and they want to provide another kind of life for her children.
Right.
For example, I think that my daughter uh, have the opportunity to live in another context, and this context help to become in a better person.
Oh, yes.
Put
Uh-huh.
away
Right.
in a different issues or the problematic contents, maybe help her to be a a better person in the life.
Yes. Yes.
I don't say that the San Francisco people is bad. No, there are a lot of kind of people in this neighborhood.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
For
A lot of
example,
good families.
my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, they are professionals. I can't believe that they becoming a professional after the 15 years.
Yeah.
For me,
Oh,
it's a surprise.
yeah.
Say, really, she becoming a teacher and he becoming a lawyer. I think that is a good example for show for the other people.
Yes. Yes. Both of them always, any opportunity that they had to grow and learn, they took it. Yeah. I mean, look at Yolanda. She's been, when I first knew her, she was a health promoter, and then she got, I think, a degree in education, and then I think she also became a nurse, and, now she's back to educate. I mean, it's incredible. She just took whatever opportunity, that she could. And a lot of people just wouldn't have.
Yes,
They would
she
think,
first
"Oh, I'm too old" or something, and they just wouldn't do it.
she first was a nurse, but currently she decided to becoming a teacher. And I
Yeah.
can say you that she is the better teacher for the primary schoolers that I know it.
Oh, I bet.
She's
I
very responsible. She's have a lot of dedication. She has a lot of love for her children.
Oh, that's wonderful. How many does she have in the classroom? Do you know?
This year she's starting a public school, but before
Right.
she worked for a specific program to help the mothers and children in a some neighborhood like San Francisco, Lucero, these kind of places, and she helped this kind of people. She becoming like a guide teacher, but
Uh-huh.
currently she's a primary teacher in a public
Okay.
school.
Right. Wow, I bet she's wonderful.
Yes. Okay, Helen, I think that is all. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Oh, you're very welcome, and good luck in all your studies. I hope it goes well for you. I've enjoyed our time.
Thank you so much.